Hi, I'm Dan Hernandez. I'd like to welcome you to this week's episode of Sport Fishing. Well, today we're back out of Emeryville, fishing out of San Francisco Bay. And this week we'll be back fishing aboard the new Huck fin. We're fishing with our friend Jay. We're right outside the Farallon Islands. We're fishing right outside the Golden Gate Bridge. Came out here about a 2-hour ride. And today we'll be fishing the bottom, looking for rockfish, lingcod. You never know what to expect. So stay tuned for this week's exciting episode of Sport Fishing. Welcome to Sport Fishing with Dan Hernandez. This week's episode of Sport Fishing is brought to you by Bradley Smokers, when you only want the very best. Magic Metal Jigs and Bucktail Jigs. By Game Saver. Preserve your fish, use a Game Saver. And by Dan Hernandez Dipping Sauces and Fish Batter.
Outside the middle Farallon, we call it the Pimple, and we're just fishing the shelf right on the 30 fathom line.
Cool. And what are we going to be looking for later this afternoon? What's the game?
Later this afternoon, once we get around 7-8 rockfish per person, then we're gonna go up toward the North Islands, see if we can find some lingcod.
Skipper just made a move. I just dropped that big jig down to the bottom. Magic Metal Jig. Just stopped the boat right here. I got bit. I guess should have a nice one. I think I have a ling. I have a ling, Jay. Just take my time. He hit it really hard. I just barely got that jig at the bottom. Normally when I get to the bottom, I work it. This one just slammed it. Here we got another fish here. What's your name? Oh, Rick just lost his. I think my dad's got one too. Take your time, Dad, you don't have to go fast. See, here he is. Oh no, not a ling.
No, that's a nice.
Was it salmon grouper?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it came off. All right, thanks. This is a salmon grouper I just caught using a Magic Metal Jig, 10 ounce. It's a glow in the dark with the red. Just got that all the way straight down. The fish just slammed it. I'm not even sure I made it all the way to the bottom because that fish really hit it hard. It's a big, beautiful fish. Okay, well in California, the present law is you can keep 2 of these. So I get 1 more to catch. Let's take a look at what these other people are catching.
It's a nice one.
Yeah. There you go, Johnny bass. It's a good size one. Yeah. like that one. You'll make about 5 to 6 tacos.
There it is.
There's another Johnny Bounce. This week's Boat Bio is brought to you by Magic Metal Jigs and B52 Bucktail Jigs. The new Huck fin is a sport fisher, operates daily out of Emeryville Sport Fishing up in the Bay Area. She's a big boat, has plenty of deck space for fishing, and carries a large supply of live bait. There's plenty of walk-around space, and the galley is large enough to get the anglers out of the weather. The wheelhouse is equipped with all the modern electronics for fish finding, navigation, and communications. At Emeryville Sport Fishing, you can make your reservation and book your trip aboard the new Huck fin today. Go ahead and explain what that is.
It's a blue rock cod.
All right. Turn around, smile for your fish. Nice ling cod. Drove all the way up from LA to fish up here in San Francisco. Nice fish. All right, well, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more action aboard the new Huck fin up here out of Emeryville, California, Farallon Islands. We'll be right back. All right, that'd be a $10 surcharge whale watching.
They look similar to Johnny Bass, but sort of stockier.
Nice sound grouper. Just working that magic metal jig right on the bottom, and I just got hit. I was just cranking it up off the bottom a little bit, trying to make it dart up. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of winding nice and easy. You don't want to wind too fast, because if you go too fast, you can spin fish off. So I only have the jig on the bottom and then the bucktail up above with the gulp on it. Just wind nice and easy. Got 30-pound test line. Let's see what this is. Doesn't feel like a really huge fish, but might be a little nice sized rockfish. There's color. There he is. Let's see. Here we go. Nice rockfish. Some magic metal jig, 10 ounce, glow in the dark with the red. What do you think? A nice one? Okay. Well, we're going to take a little break from the action here and go to the tackle box and give you a good look at the rods and reels that we're using for today's fishing. This week, the tackle box is brought to you by Cabela's, America's foremost outfitter. This week in Tackle Box, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing up in the Bay Area. Now we're doing a variety of fishing inside the bay, drifting for halibut, stripers, but the big thing is to go offshore to the Farallon Islands. Go look for those monster lingcods, huge rockfish that live out there. And even though we could be fishing in shallow water, we still want to use heavy gear because these lingcod can get big. I mean, it's nothing to catch a 30-pound lingcod. Occasionally they got lingcod up to 50 pounds. So you need to use heavy gear. Because of that, I'm using the larger contender reel like this, and it's got the lever drag. Using heavy line, you want to use 40, 50-pound main line. You can use a little bit heavier leader if you want, 50, maybe even 80-pound leader on top of that, but you really have to use a heavy line going after these big fish. And the rod I'm using with this is an ugly stick tiger rod. This rod's rated to fish 50, 60-pound test line. It works great for this type of fishing. Now you can use both live baits or artificial baits. I really enjoy fishing for lingcod with artificial baits. There's two basic baits you can use. A bucktail jig always works good, and if I was up there early morning or late in the day when there isn't much daylight, I'd use a glow-in-the-dark, because that glow-in-the-dark bait at first light is deadly. But for today's fishing, get out there a little bit later in the morning, so I'm going with the metal jig. Now the magic metals, you want to go a 10-ounce, 8-ounce model, depending on the depth, depending on the current. This may look like a big jig, but you'll see in today's fishing that these lingcod are so big and their mouths are so big that they can swallow a jig like this like a French fry. It's really easy. Now the technique for this is very simple. When you're fishing a big jig like this, you can either hit the bottom and just crank really fast and make that jig dart up. Not all the way to the surface, just about 2 or 3 cranks, just to make it look like it's trying to escape from the lingcod. They'll come up and attack it. Let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action out of the Bay Area here on Sport Fishing.
Nice tiger. Nice tiger rockfish.
Tiger rockfish. Isn't it beautiful?
This is my dad. He just caught this Johnny bass. Nice little fish. Not bad.
Not bad. Let's go get the big one though.
Yeah, no, we haven't got any lingcod yet.
No.
Some of the guys are getting some lingcod, but we haven't got those big monster ones that this area is known for. All right, we're going to take a little break from the action. We're going to go to the galley and show you how to cook up one of these delicious rockfish. This week, the galley is brought to you by Dan Hernandez Dipping Sauces and Fish Batters. Look for them in your local supermarkets. This week in the galley, we're down in beautiful Rosarito, Mexico. We're at the Rosarito Beach Hotel, and standing next to me is Azalea. Thank you for inviting us down, Azalea.
Thank you for stopping by our resort, sir.
It's a beautiful resort. I've been here many times in the past. Great fishing here too, but today we're going to do a fish dish. And who's our chef that we have today?
Our chef is Heriberto. He's the Shobert's restaurant chef for the gourmet food.
Good. Okay, so I see he's got a rockfish for us today. And what is he going to do with this rockfish?
Okay, we're going to have it done with the cilantro sauce. It's rock hot with the cilantro.
And if you're not sure what rock cod looks like, this is one here that is done a different style. This one was deep fried, but our chef has a different treat for us in store today. And what's really nice about this fish is this is a local fish you can catch right here in Baja, Mexico, even up in California, local rock cod. A lot of our viewers catch these fish all the time.
Okay, so we're adding a little bit of salt and pepper.
A little pepper.
Yeah, to season the rock cod. And he's also going to put a few drops of lime to it.
Yeah, I love using lime and lemon all the time.
Yeah, we also do. Okay, now he's gonna go ahead and put it in the pan.
Okay.
¿Cuánto tiempo se cocina esto, chef? It just takes from 2 to 3 minutes to have it ready.
One thing about rock cod, what's really nice about it is very white meat. You can do lots of stuff with it. But like the chef said, you don't want to cook it too long. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make with a fish like rock cod is they cook it way too long. You can see how fast this is cooking.
Yes, it looks really nice.
Yeah, it's going really fast.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very simple dish to do. What I like about recipes like this is something somebody can do at home. And that's what I was talking about, the rock cod. It's so versatile. You can use a bunch of different sauces. Now I know the chef here has a sauce for us to put on top of this. And what is that?
That's great. That's the cilantro sauce. Like I told you, it has olive oil, cilantro, a little bit of salt and pepper and lime.
And what he did was took all those ingredients and just threw it in a blender and mixed it up?
Yes, that's
Food
simple.
processor?
That's simple. You just blend them and that's it. It's ready.
So it looks like we're all done with the cooking the fish.
Yes, it is ready. It looks really nice.
And this is the chef's assistant?
Yes, that's correct. Her name is Maritza and
Maritza?
she's helping today.
Okay, cool. She's actually going to fry up the cilantro sauce. What's neat about cilantro sauce is cilantro is just one of those natural ingredients from Mexican culture, and we use it all the time cooking. My mom used to cook it all the time with cilantro, oregano, stuff like that. And it's nice to add this to a dish here. But he just heated it up a tiny bit.
Yeah, just a little bit of heating to it. And it looks delicious.
Yeah, it does. Here's a finished dish. I have to try this.
Yes. How is
That
it
is
done?
so good.
Okay.
That's really good. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and thanks
Thank you,
to the
chef.
chef who made it possible.
Very nice. Real simple dish. Just a little bit of time on, cooking it with a little bit of heat. The cilantro sauce was great. And I've never seen cilantro sauce where it was heated like that and then put on top of the fish. Came out really nice. And we're down here at the Rosarita Beach Hotel down here in northern Baja, only about 40 minutes from the border from San Diego. Just a nice, great place to come on down. Come do some local fishing and come see the chef and order a dish at the kitchen here. Beautiful dish. Well, stay tuned and we'll be right back with a lot more action right here on Sport Fishing.
Very nice.
Nice fish.
Yeah.
It's getting toward the end of the day, and we're really close to the north end of the island, the North Island. And I switched over to a 6-ounce B52 with a piece of gulp and much lighter outfit, 20-pound test. You see me fish before with calico bass, small yellowtail up north. Down south, I'm using up here at the Fairlawn Islands for rockfish. This might be a lingcod, might be a little lingcod. Let's see. Little ling, short ling. It's a short ling. Oh no, it's a cabezon. Not a lingcod. This one's legal, right?
Yeah, that's B15.
That's the cabezon. Legal cabezon. See the B52 bucktail and a gulp bait right here. That's what that fish ate. I thought it was a lingcod down there at first.
Yeah, they fight the same.
They shake their heads and all that same. These are good eating fish too, right?
Oh, they're excellent. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, another one right behind.
There's a purple one there. Yeah.
Around the cabby hole.
Must be a cabbie hole.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a little break from the action. When we return, I'll be giving you this week's tip of the week. This week's tip of the week is brought to you by Magic Metal Jigs and Bucktail Jigs. For this week's tip of the week, I want to talk to you a little bit about how I caught all these fish today. We had really good fishing on the rockfish, but all we had was those little tiny anchovies. And the way I caught my fish was use a large jig. This was a Magic Metal 10-ounce jig. Worked out really good. Caught everything on it, rockfish, cabezon. even caught a couple of nice lingcod, and this is what it caught them on, just fishing right on the bottom, winding it up really fast and then letting it flutter down. Sometimes the fish hit it on the way up. Most of the fish got it, it was flooding right down to the bottom. It was just a great way to catch fish today. I want to thank our skipper, Jay. Hey, Jay, thanks for taking us out today. We had a great time. He's the owner-operator of the New Huck Fin, operates daily out of Emeryville Sport Fishing. And people want information about you. I know you don't have a website, but you can call the landing.
Call the landing, and they'll tell you what we've been catching, and they can book a trip.
Yeah. And your season pretty much is what? Spring, fall, summer?
Spring to fall.
And early in the season is usually in the bay?
Yeah, normally early in the season, April, May,
June even?
June, we're inside, and then as the late summer and fall, then we started rock fishing lingcod.
And we've been fishing with Jay several years. This is the 4th year we've been with them. The great fishing, my friends have been fishing them with got over 10 years.
Oh, 20,
Steve,
25
yeah,
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were telling me for years and years to come, we've had great trips with them. We never had a bad trip. In the past, you've seen us fish in the bay with Jay, fishing for halibut and stripers. We've done several years now offshore. Nice lingcod, always awesome rock fishing.
Yeah.
Just great fishing. Well, thanks a lot, Jay. Had a
Thank
great
you.
time. Well, I'm Dan Hernandez for Jay, the crew, the New Huck Fin, and everybody here at Sport Fishing. Hoping you enjoyed this week's episode of Sport Fishing, and I hope you join us again next week as we go looking for more of the best in sport fishing.